Okay, welcome. Today I'll be doing a deck tech slash tournament report of my skirmish this weekend. I came in first place, so that was pretty cool. I was playing Blaze. I think Blaze is definitely top three Blitz heroes right now. I'll just quickly go over the deck. This deck is mostly from another Discord user, so I don't have like all the thoughts on every include because he has like 700 games on this deck and I have like 20. So you know, the main board is Tunic. So for equipment, I have Skullcap, Tunic, Nodes, Striders, Lens, and Moon. Moon is just the best wizard weapon in Blitz. I don't think. Yeah, all the other wizard weapons in Blitz right now are pretty fucking garbage. So you just run Moon because Talisman Lens up to Skullcap is 3 block. This is optimally a balance of justice, but I don't have one, and I wasn't able to get one for the event, so it's a Skullcap. Tunic sometimes comes out for Spellfire Cloak if the matchup is fast. Most of the time I run Cloak because most of the matchups in Blitz are pretty fast, and you just want the resource on demand basically. Tunic is basically just for the slower matchups. Metacarp's Node comes out for Gauntlets, Stonewall Gauntlet sometimes, Stonewall Gauntlet mostly for Zen, but it does help in other aggro matchups like Rhinar for example, where it can consistently block 2. It's also sometimes just good. Like if you can block 2 with it, it's probably pretty worth it if the matchup is fast because Stonewall Gauntlet combined with Arcanine Skullcap is an effective plus 5 life, so you go to 22, which is almost always an extra turn cycle for you, which is good because extra turn cycle means extra damage, means extra wins. Striders is just broken. Striders is best one of the best equipment cards in the game right now. So I have that or Traverse. As for the main deck, I have Red Absorbs. They come out for stuff in the mirror, but against any other deck, I just run them because I mean over the weekend, in the event and in other test matches, I felt like Absorb is just really strong. Being a 1/6 basically is just really good and pairing very well with the Marital Scolding or any of the other 2 costs is just great. Quickening is a 1/4 premium with Waning Moon is basically, yeah, you can't get any better than that. Spindle. So there were 3 blazes at my event. I was the only one who was running Spindle in red. I genuinely don't think this card could ever come out because it deals 4 damage and it opts, and they were saying that they cut it because it doesn't guarantee opt. They were running also yellow Cindering and yellow Whispers, but I mean in my experience the damage is just so important. Like you can basically, if you have another card in hand, you can do Quickening Moon, except you also threaten an opt, right? And you get basically guaranteed 1 opt anyway. So yeah, I think you should probably run this. Cindering, it opts 3, it deals 1 damage sometimes. Most of the time though, I play it out for the op 3. But the damage is pretty relevant sometimes if you want to kill them or something. Scolding, 2 reds, 1 yellow, and 3 blues. The blues are just good blues, so we run them. Deck is 18 blues, so you just play the good blues. Marriages are the best finisher because it deals 6 on the opponent's turn. So if we compare it with a Quickening, for example, you can do like 6 into 4 into 3 from Moon, which is 13, which is quite a lot in Blitz. And then the yellow, it just fills up a slot because we can't really run, like it's better than Yellow Voltic, for example, which is the card we would run in that spot. Nourishing is a 1-off attack. It switches with the Battlefront Bastions if I need poppers. On hit, gains an intellect. It's just really good. You also take it out for other cards if you know your opponent is has a lot of equipment block. So against Rhino, for example, even if they run AB3, they still have 4 block on their equipment, which means they can easily put a card plus their equipment in front of Nourishing and block it out completely, which means it's not worth it to run it. Scalding Rain is another 1 for 4. Swell Tidings 2 for 5. Just strong damage, just a lot of arcane damage, and you want to chip your opponents down and then kill them on their turn. Voltic Bolt also 2 for 5. If you have 3 cards, you can also activate Moon to 7 damage total. Whisper of the Oracle is just up 4 guaranteed. Go again, great card in the deck. I mean, it's just 4 counters on Blaze basically, which just turns on your Emeritus, turns on your Spindle, turns on your Quickening. Basically, every card in the deck that deals damage can be played then, except for the Swells and the Voltic Bolts. But if you are running a Lens in that matchup, you can also play those. So that's why we run it. Sonic Boom, probably second best finisher in the deck after Emeritus. Pairs really well with Talismanic Lens. Just the fact that you can basically play 3 spells in your combo turn except for 2 instead of 2 is just really strong. Aetherize's main deck often comes out for a rewind or scour depending on the matchup. If our opponent has no non-attacks we want to rewind or instance, we just run scour because it's a block 3. It's really good into Zen, mostly stops Art of War, stops Transcending, just strong into that matchup, but it does come out pretty often. Yeah, only a 1-of because it's a no block, and also it doesn't necessarily come up every game even against Zen, so that's why I only run 1. Ipophidia, it's a blue that opts 2, so just really strong. ACH is also a blue that has the potential to be played to opt 2. Most of the time it's a block 3 because the second effect is very rarely active. Battlefront Bastion is basically just a popper. There weren't any prisms at the event, so I didn't have to bring the poppers. If you don't want to bring poppers, Kindle is your best option here. Switching it with Nourishing and probably another card. I don't know. Rewind negates a non-attack. Really good in the mirror because you can stop their combo turn. Basically, I won a mirror off that. Well, it was a practice match, so it doesn't really count. But oh yeah, very good into Briar and the Roots, because into Briar you can rewind their channel mount and they have to pay 3 again, and that's very often a problem for them. The Roots is very good against Blood Rush Bellow because they have to discard an additional card. Scour is a block 3 blue that we can use with instead of Aetherize if we want to. We're mostly playing it so if our opponent has auras, we can actually use 0 energy counters to bench this from hand and still destroy the auras, which is really strong. So against Briar, for example, and the Brutes is also very good into because you can take out Aetherize and Nourishing for these 2 cards. Yeah, there's some niche use cases. For example, against Azalea, if they make a Ponder, you can destroy the Ponder and Waning Moon off of 2 cards and 0 energy counters. And then Cloak and Stomach Gauntlet for the... Yeah, I explained that already. So let's go over my matchup spread. Okay, so I ended 7-1. Won the Gold Foil Blaze, which was nice because the Blaze I used actually wasn't mine. I borrowed it from a friend, and now I have my own, so that's pretty cool. First round, Arachne Solitary Confinement was a win. I think it's a pretty good matchup for Blaze. There's my only game into it, but from what I could have gathered, I didn't draw very well. He drew decently. He probably drew like 60%. If like 50% is the average, yeah, he probably drew like average, and I drew like slightly worse than average, so like probably 35%. If 50% is the average. Still managed to win. It was pretty close. He did make a weird decision with something I don't really remember, but he explained to me after the match, but I think it was I still had to win if he did make the correct choice. Dash on AB0 was a win because they were on AB0. You know, AB0 Dash. He said he didn't expect any blazes, and then he played against every single blaze in the event. So that fucking sucks. For him, yeah, can't really do a lot if he's AB0 and I was able to start. So you know, Rhino was a win. This was against one of my friends. That was a pretty interesting match. He was also my finals opponent. Managed to win because of the extra health of Skullcap and Stonewall Gauntlet, because he did 13, no 12, yeah, because it was barraging yellow, I think, into Alpha Rampage. So I was able to block 6 with Skullcap, Stonewall, and card from hand. So it was 13 went to 12, so I took 6 on the first turn. Still managed to win because Blaze is very good at getting tempo and holding it. Mirror was a loss. He tapped out on my turn and he was at like 11, I think. I had a Spindle and Arsenal and I had to draw a card that dealt arcane damage to have lethal, and I drew into not that, so I didn't have lethal, and I lost. Then the second Blaze, he tapped out on my turn. I had to draw into any card that dealt arcane damage, and I did draw into a card that dealt arcane damage, so I won. So that's pretty cool. Briar, top 8 match, that was a win. I think Briar's basically free for Blaze. I think they have to like start, and then you have a set up a channel mount turn 0. You have a mediocre turn 0 where you deal like 2 to 4 damage, and don't really set up any energy counters, and or not a lot of energy counters, maybe like 2 to 3. And they just have to clap you turn 1 basically after setup on turn 0, because otherwise they just can't win. I feel like I've had like 3 games into Briar with Blaze now. I mean, I don't have a lot of experience in the matchup, but that's what it felt like. Blaze, this was a rematch from my last Swiss round. I won again because they tapped out on my turn again. I didn't actually draw a card that dealt arcane damage, but I still won, so that was pretty cool. Oh no, I did. That was the last round. Yeah, the Rhino rematch. This game was a lot of fun to play, actually. I went first this time, so a lot better for me, obviously. He played another Blaze in this top 4 match, and he said the first 2 turns were basically the exact same, so that was pretty fun. He ended up drawing, it was like turn 4 or 5, he ended up drawing a yellow and 3 reds. He AB3'd on my turn, then he Cracked Sash, played Savage Feast, because he hadn't. Did he have an agility or did he just want to draw? Oh no! What happened was I was on. I don't really remember the turn that well. I think I was on a low life total, and he was able to double or triple intimidate me, because he also discarded a massacre. I don't really remember that well, but basically, so he tapped out on 9 life, and I had an Emeritus and Arsenal, and I drew into 4 cards that did not deal arcane damage, but because I had the Emeritus and Arsenal, Emeritus red, I was still able to win. So I ended at 7-1. This game was a loss, but it could have been a win if I drew a card that dealt arcane damage. The deck felt like really strong, I think. Definitely should receive some bans in the next bans and restricted announcement, because you know, the deck is just too strong right now. Also, about Blaze, now I'm just gonna dump my thoughts on the hero itself in here. She is a promo only hero right now, and I do not like that. I think that having heroes, playable heroes, like legal heroes, in a competitive format that you cannot get if you don't like live in a certain spot or go to a certain event or something, is really bad. I was actually thinking that they would give out Blazes as participation promos at the skirmishes, which in that case would have been fine, you know, because if you go to a skirmish you get a Blaze, that's fine. And then also everyone will be able to play her, but right now she is top three Blitz heroes right now. I think the top three is Zen, Reinhardt, and Blaze. I don't know the order because I don't play enough Blitz to know that. And you just have to be lucky to play her basically. That's really bad design in my opinion. I think Alice is really fucked up with this one. Honestly, like I am one of the biggest LSS stands probably in the world. Um, like this was not good. This is not okay. Like legitimately, if they do this like more frequently, I think that is just basically, it's basically pay to win at that point. Flesh and Blood is already very expensive as for card games go to get into. I've heard. I don't play any other card games myself because Flesh and Blood was my first card game, and I've enjoyed it so much that I have no desire to test out any other ones. But it is already pretty expensive, and if you have a legal hero that costs like $70 to even play and is one of the best heroes in the format, like Blaze won the third most skirmishes week one out of any hero, behind Victor and Zen. Blaze is not available to that many people. Like our 21 person event had, I think, 3 Blazes, which is a lot. That is a lot, and that I don't know for sure, but I am fairly certain that every single Blaze in the Netherlands was at that event. And all three made it into top 4, which is insane. And if you have a hero that is so strong that they have a 100% top 4 conversion rate in a 21 person event, that is like not very likely, and it costs $70 to even play the hero, like obtain the hero card. I just don't agree with that. But yeah, that were my thoughts on the hero. I'll be back when Rosetta releases probably, or maybe even a little before that, if the spoiler cards at Tampa Bay are spicy enough. I'll be making videos on testing probably the 2 wizards. Maybe not Verdant. She's not really speaking to me right now, but I'll keep a lookout on whether or not that deck becomes like fun for me. I'll definitely make some videos on it. Acilio definitely. Acilio is looking like, if Acilio is really strong, it's probably going to be my pick for the progress season. And Kano, like the cards have been fucking fire so far. I actually expect Kano to get some bans in October. What I expect is they're going to release some other WinCon in the Majestic slot for one of the Majestics in Rosetta, and they're going to ban Wildfire. Because the cards he's getting right now are really good, and if the Majestics are also good, then he's just going to Living Legend out of the format very soon, which is also definitely a possibility. Like, if I was LSS, I would probably just let Kano Living Legend because there's not a lot of people who are really good at playing him, and he limits design space in a way that is not beneficial to a game because his hero ability is just so fucking strong. But that is probably a tangent for another day. I think that is this video. So yeah, see you next time. After spoiler season for Tampa Bay is over, probably. Goodbye.